So this is where we'd normally throw to your segment. So would you like to do it live at the desk? It would be an absolute privilege for us to hear you.
Pleasure.
You got me warmed up now. You know?
Warmed up or grogged up?
It's early. All right. Well, speaking of controversial movies, I'm going to talk about The Hunt, a movie that even Donald Trump was talking about on Twitter. And this, what was it called? Red State versus Blue State.
Yeah.
But
because they'd already made Orange State, so he couldn't,
Oh yeah. And look, this is kind of like a splash of Battle Royale, a splash of the Hunger Games, which I guess is derivative of that. But basically, 12 people are in a field, they get released, and they are being hunted. And why are they being hunted? And funnily enough, from what I was talking about before, they're being hunted for their opinions on Facebook. But what this movie does straight away is it just thumbs its nose, tongue in cheek. It's like an absolute gore fest, right? Like, I mean, honestly, and it does this. And look, I don't want to give too much away. I don't really like talking about plot and reviews, but it's got this absolute false start where you're like, okay, here's Emma Roberts, he's like this handsome dude from Bad Moms, and then and you're like, okay, well, these are our square-jawed protagonists, and then like shit just goes sideways so quickly, and I'm like, oh my god, what am I actually watching? But I think this is written by Damon Lindelof, and I think between Watchmen that he released last year and The Leftovers, he's really emerged to me to one of my favorite writers.
Yep.
And I just some people have said the politics of this movie aren't as sharp as they could be, but as a slick piece of genre work, like director Craig Zobel here, I mean, the movie moves. It's just so quick, and you never really get it. Like the characters themselves, you're thrust into this. You never get a grip of what you're really kind of watching, and tonally it kind of goes pretty wild.
Yeah.
And so it's going to play to a very specific audience. I think basically like the guys sitting here, where like the chief, people who are going to enjoy it, but. I've showed it to two other people, and they're like, "Man, this is a pretty wild movie." And so, but it is thumbing its nose at this kind of idea, that like liberals can be even more aggressive than conservatives and stuff. It doesn't play. It plays it right down the line. It's having it on both sides, and some people have got the shits with that because they're like, you should authoritatively be saying who is right and who's wrong. But this movie's saying sometimes we just don't know.
It just doesn't happen that way in reality.
There's a complexity there, and Betty Gilpin is in the lead here. It's just like so amazing.
She's great. Like why she's not a Hollywood starlet is beyond me.
Shit, man! In this, like straight away, she's acting with her eyes, and she's got this like closed mouth American accent. I'm like, what's going on here? And then by the end, I'm like, man, she's like Ellen Ripley. Like, I mean, she's just wild in this. And when she unleashes, I was like, shit, man, this girl's got it. Like,
she's the second lead from Glow, that Netflix show.
Yeah. And same, like a total star-making performance. The minute that she kicked off in this, I'm like, who is this girl, man? She's like just rock and roll. But look, I mean, you can. I think for me, because I am a centrist, and I think I got splinters on both legs from sitting on the fence all the time. But, so a movie like this, I'm kind of like, good. It's not preachy in any way. It's just saying that if we descend into violence and chaos and name calling, and we play play the man and not the ball, this is the kind of shit that happens. With machine guns. Right.
Well, this kind of in a way contradicts what we were just talking about, with films not being as, provocative as they used to be,
totally,
right? Because it's a Blumhouse film, and they're starting to really take a political stance or a political direction.
Yeah, sure.
They've done Get Out and they've done Us, which all have these parallels to, with the political climate. So it's interesting the way they're going.
Some people have had the shits because the protagonists of this are conservatives, right? And the antagonists, are these liberals. But, there's some really funny satire that's in there that is absolutely it's completely on point, where people are talking about almond milk and what language they can use and appropriation, and you can't wear that kimono and all this stuff.
I cannot wait to see this.
Oh, trust me, it made me giggle. And it plays it, plays it both sides, but it just slathers the whole thing in gore. So I mean, there's a more user-friendly version that could have been just shepherded into Australian cinemas, but as a movie to have a six-pack and then chuck on.
It's taken a long time to get to us, this one as well.
Well, look, so I mean, I think that it hasn't done crash out of the box office, but it was released in the weekend. What is the lowest one since 1988?
But it's had two false starts at the box office.
Yeah. So I do feel sorry for the team, because I think that this, as we were saying before, movies have become so safe. This movie isn't safe.
Yeah.
It's not actually saying anything deeply provocative, but it's playing in that playground. I'm like, good on you guys. Like, I mean,
just for a bit of context, when it was first supposed to be released, it had a few of those school massacres. So they just pulled it. They pulled the plug on it indefinitely, and
the marketing materials and the optics of it aren't great, because it is literally people screaming, running around, just being shot. So and that's about 90% of the movie. So I don't know how else you'd cut the trailer.
And the director Craig Zobel directed an amazing film called Compliance.
Yeah, totally.
A few years ago, which is a real sort of
Zachariah. So honestly, he's a really good craftsman. Like there's some really great John Wick slices of action in this. Like kind of 1-2 action beats in a single shot, and I was like, okay, it's well choreographed, and Macon Blair's got this awesome cameo in there too as well, like from Blue Ruin and Green Room. So look, I would give this 4 stars. Look, it's really polarizing, and it's sitting dead 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, as we were saying before. But that is polarizing between 1-star reviews and 4-star reviews.
Yeah.
So you're just either going to fall into one or two
Those
categories.
splinters are going to get you,
But
mate.
I am a 4-star guy on this.